For decades, somewhere deep within the radio frequencies, a strange and unexplained signal has been broadcasting continuously. It is not music, not a voice, and not a typical transmission. Instead, it is a repetitive buzzing sound, steady and mechanical, echoing across the airwaves. Known as the buzzer, this signal has been detected by listeners all around the world. No official source has ever confirmed its origin, and no clear purpose has been identified. Yet it continues, uninterrupted, day after day, year after year. The existence of this signal has raised a simple but deeply unsettling question. Who is sending it, and why has it never stopped? The signal was first noticed during the Cold War, a time when radio frequencies were filled with coded messages and military communication. At first, it did not attract much attention. It was just another strange sound among many. But as years passed, something unusual became clear. While other signals appeared and disappeared, this one remained constant. Day and night, without interruption, the buzzing continued. Radio enthusiasts who stumbled upon it found themselves drawn into its mystery. The longer they listened, the more unsettling it became. This was not random noise. It was too consistent, too deliberate, and too persistent to be ignored. As technology improved, more people began to track the signal. It was identified on a specific frequency, and anyone with the right equipment could tune in. The sound itself was simple, a short buzzing tone repeated over and over again with precise timing. But what made it truly strange was its reach. The signal could be detected across vast distances, traveling far beyond its point of origin. This suggested that it was being transmitted with significant power, but despite attempts to trace it, its exact location remained uncertain. The signal existed, but its source seemed hidden. Over time, theories began to form about the origin of the signal. Some believed it was connected to a military installation, possibly a remnant of Cold War communication systems. Others suggested it might be part of a fail-safe mechanism designed to activate in case of a major event. There were even theories that the signal was not meant to be understood by humans at all. The possibility that it served a purpose unknown to the public made the mystery even more compelling. Each theory attempted to explain its existence, but none could fully account for its behavior. Listeners who tuned into the frequency described the sound as hypnotic. The repetition created a rhythm that was impossible to ignore. It was not loud, but it was constant. The absence of variation made it feel unnatural, as if it was designed to send a message without words. Some listeners reported leaving their radios on for hours, simply to observe if anything would change. Most of the time, nothing did. The buzzing continued, steady and unbroken, reinforcing the idea that the signal was not accidental. As more listeners discovered the frequency, recordings of the signal began to spread across the internet. People from different parts of the world tuned in, all hearing the same thing, the same repetitive buzzing, unchanged over time. Some began documenting it, comparing recordings taken years apart. What they found was even more unsettling. The pattern had not changed. The timing remained exact, almost mechanical, as if controlled by a system that never failed. This consistency suggested that the signal was actively maintained. It was not a forgotten broadcast left running. Someone, somewhere, was ensuring that it continued without interruption. Audio analysis revealed that the buzzing followed a precise rhythm. It was not random static or interference. Each tone was evenly spaced, repeating at consistent intervals. This level of precision suggested deliberate design. Engineers and enthusiasts attempted to decode the pattern, searching for hidden meaning within the sound. Some believed it might contain data, masked within the frequency itself. Others thought it could be a marker, a constant signal used to monitor communication channels. But despite years of analysis, no clear answer was found. The signal remained as mysterious as ever, simple in form but complex in implication. For those who listened regularly, the signal became more than just a sound. It became an obsession. Radio operators would sit for hours, headphones on, waiting for something to change. And occasionally, it did. Without warning, the buzzing would stop. In its place, a voice would emerge, calm, controlled, and speaking in Russian. The message would be brief, consisting of numbers, names, or coded phrases. Then, just as suddenly, the voice would disappear and the buzzing would resume. These interruptions were rare, but they confirmed one thing. The signal was not just noise, it was being actively used. The voice transmissions added a new layer to the mystery. Each message seemed structured, as if it followed a specific format. Researchers attempted to translate and interpret these phrases, but the meaning remained unclear. Some believed they were coded military messages, possibly part of a system designed to communicate with agents in the field. Others suggested they could be test signals used to ensure that communication networks remained operational. But no official confirmation was ever given. The messages appeared, were recorded, and then faded back into silence, leaving behind more questions than answers. Eventually, investigators managed to narrow down the possible location of the signal's origin. It appeared to be coming from a remote area in Russia, possibly near an abandoned military installation. Photos of the site revealed old buildings, rusted equipment, and tall radio towers surrounded by dense forest. The area looked deserted, yet the signal continued. This contradiction only deepens the mystery. If the location was abandoned, who was maintaining the transmission? And if it was still active, why was there no visible sign of operation? The silence of the location stood in sharp contrast to the constant presence of the signal. As night fell over the suspected transmission site, the isolation of the location became even more apparent. The surrounding forest stretched endlessly, with no signs of nearby activity. The tower stood alone against the dark sky, its structure barely visible in the shadows. Yet somewhere, within that silence, the signal continued to broadcast. The idea that such a constant transmission could originate from a place so remote raised further questions. It suggested a level of automation or hidden infrastructure that remained undetected. Whatever the truth was, it was not easily visible. Modern technology allowed researchers to study the signal in more detail. Advanced software was used to analyze its frequency, timing, and structure. Despite these efforts, no hidden messages or patterns were clearly identified. The signal appeared exactly as it sounded: simple, repetitive, and consistent. This lack of complexity made it even more difficult to understand. If the signal was meant to carry information, it was doing so in a way that could not be easily detected. Alternatively, it might serve a completely different purpose, one that did not rely on traditional communication methods. The possibility that the signal was automated became increasingly likely. A system could have been set up decades ago, designed to operate continuously without human intervention. Such systems are not uncommon in military communication networks. However, even automated systems require maintenance. Equipment fails, power sources degrade, and technology becomes outdated. Yet the buzzer signal showed no signs of degradation. It remained stable, precise, and uninterrupted. This raised an important question. If the system was automated, who was maintaining it? And how had it continued to function for so long without failure? Some theories suggested that the signal might be connected to a hidden underground facility. Such installations are designed to operate independently, often shielded from external detection. If the buzzer originated from a location like this, it could explain its long-term stability and secrecy. The idea of a hidden bunker transmitting a signal for decades captured the imagination of many researchers. It suggested a system built not just for communication, but for survival. A signal that would continue no matter what happened on the surface. Tracking the signal across different regions revealed its wide reach. The frequency could be detected across large parts of Europe and beyond, depending on atmospheric conditions. This level of coverage indicated significant transmission power. It was not a small, localized signal. It was designed to be heard over vast distances. Such power would require infrastructure and resources, further supporting the idea that it was connected to an organized system. But without official confirmation, these conclusions remained speculative. For listeners, the experience of hearing the buzzer remained unchanged. The sound continued, steady and predictable, yet always unsettling. It was not just the noise itself, but the meaning behind it, or the lack of it, that made it so compelling. The human mind seeks patterns and explanations, but this signal offered neither. It existed without context, without explanation, and without end. And that made it impossible to ignore. Some listeners reported leaving their radios tuned to the frequency overnight, allowing the signal to play continuously. In the silence of a dark room, the buzzing took on a different quality. It felt less like a sound and more like a presence, something constant, unchanging, and always there. The longer it played, the more it seemed to blur the line between background noise and intentional signal. It became part of the environment, something that could not be separated from the space itself. Attempts to find official records related to the signal have produced little result. No government has publicly acknowledged its purpose. No documentation has been released that explains its origin. This absence of information has allowed theories to grow. Some believe it is part of a dead hand system designed to respond automatically to certain conditions. Others think it may serve as a marker, indicating that the system is still active. Without confirmation, these ideas remain speculation. The image of a remote tower hidden within a forest has become closely associated with the mystery of the buzzer. Whether or not it is a true source, it represents the idea of something hidden, something operating beyond public awareness. The signal continues regardless of who is listening or who is trying to understand it. It does not respond, it does not change, and it does not reveal its purpose. As time passes, the signal remains unchanged. Years turn into decades, and still the buzzing continues. Technology evolves, communication systems advance, yet this single signal persists in its original form. It has outlasted political changes, technological shifts, and generations of listeners. Its persistence is perhaps the most mysterious aspect of all. The idea that a signal could exist for so long without explanation challenges our understanding of communication. It suggests that not all transmissions are meant to be understood, at least not by everyone. Some signals may exist simply to function, without revealing their purpose to those who hear them. The buzzer is one such signal. The idea that a signal could exist for so long without explanation challenges our understanding of communication. It suggests that not all transmissions are meant to be understood, at least not by everyone. Some signals may exist simply to function, without revealing their purpose to those who hear them. The buzzer is one such signal.